Hello, and thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel, Rose Ward, Stampersdelight.com. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, and come stamp with me. So thank you for tuning in, and today's video, what I'd like to show you is Reflected in Nature. I think this kind of gets lost in the catalog, and one of the things I like to do is all the stamp sets that I order, I like to at least touch once. What I mean by touching is do a video or use in a class. And this one I thought was perfect for this time of the year because with all the running around for the holidays between Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever it is you celebrate, okay, you forget to take time for yourself. And this right here says perfectly, breathe deep, take time for yourself. So I decided to play with this stamp set today. And this is on page 60 of the holiday catalog. And you're going to want to definitely take a look at this. Don't forget that there's only a few days left to get the starter kit at $75, and you get $125 of merchandise, your choice. And also check out my online class for December, which is inspired by nature. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my blotter paper first, trying to keep my work area neat. If you'd like to place an order with me in November, that's my order code. Don't use that if it's more than $150, though, because then you want to get the hostess rewards. You go to Stampersdelight.com, use that host code. If you'd like to check out the apparel shop with some fun gift ideas, especially for the holidays, get them now so that they get there in time. Go to Stampersdelightshop.com. Okay, so with the Reflected in Nature, I'm going to show you a couple of cards that I've already done. And basically, it's the same card. This doesn't need a fancy fold. It's just a gorgeous stamp set. This one, I used the Peaceful Cabins Designer Series paper. I also used some of our embossing paste, our shimmery embossing paste. Now, I know you might not be able to get a good look at that, but that will be on my blog, Stampersdelight.com. Of course, I used some of the black organdy glitter ribbon. Breathe deep. Take time for yourself. What a great sentiment for this time of the year. You could also, use some Christmas stamp sets and make it a Christmas card. But I just love this because, again, we forget to take time for ourselves. And you can see that it reflects the cabin. The next one is basically the same card, Peaceful Cabins Designer Series paper, but instead, this time I used our Crystal Effects. And I think that also gets lost in the catalog with the new items. So I used the Crystal Effects. The new item I used is our iridescent basic jewels, which will be in the January to June catalog. So again, same basic idea, just changed up the Designer Series paper, used the Crystal Effects, and here I used our black gingham ribbon. I have a lot of people in mind for these cards. People I know never take time for themselves. Another one I did was in blue. Now this one, and I will show you how I got that effect. I used the Misty Moonlight here, but I used the Pool Party here. So you can make it however you want. It is one stamp. I know some people cut them in half. I don't, but I will show you how to ink that up and get two different versions of that, or two different colors. Okay, and again, peaceful. This is the Whimsy and Wonder paper, and of course the foil paper. This in the holiday catalog. And this I used Wink Estella. So all these sparkles, we have lots of things for sparkles. And then the next one I did, I wanted to play around with a little bit with the Eden's Garden paper. So I changed it up a little bit and I made this fold. And this is the Evergreen embossing folder. I thought it went well with the trees. And of course our gold Designer Series specialty paper, the rose and the gold, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favorites. Okay, and this one I just left blank for a sentiment. Okay, so those are the samples I have for you. Again, this card or this stamp set doesn't need a lot because it's just beautiful the way it is. However, oh, let me show you this one, and this is what we're going to do. This is the one I'm going to do now, and let me just grab my catalog because I didn't open it up to the page with the designer series paper that we're going to be using, and that is going to be the Blackberry Beauty on page 45. And this is the suite right here, and we're going to be using this paper. Okay, 44 and 45, the Blackberry Beauty. So let me show you the card I did, again with that fold, and I'm going to show you how I did that fold. And then I just framed it. Now in here, you can get this pack of die cuts. And this is actually, if you can see that right here, is just an edge that really you could just throw out because it wasn't really for anything. But I trimmed it up and made it into a frame. And of course, I'm using my rich raspberry ink. Breathe deep. I love that rich color. So let me show you how I did that card. And then I will show you how I got the two tones. I'm going to take my base card, which is half a sheet of cardstock. And I'm just going to fold that in half or use my paper trimmer to get a nice crisp edge and fold. So I'm going to go to the 4 1/4 and I am going to score that. Then I'm going to use my bone folder. Just get that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice off 2 inches right here. Okay, 2 inches. You can make it a little higher. You can make it 2 1/2. You can make it 1 1/2, whatever you want. But I use 2 inches. Then what I did was I had a piece of that gold designer series or specialty paper, and of course that's 6 inches. Okay, then this is cut at just a tad less than 2, so I'll show you that. So there's the 2-inch mark, and you can see I just moved it down, like I think this was a scrap paper. Okay, so I just moved it down a little bit, one little notch there. Gonna slice that off. And then because this paper is 5 1/2, and I want just a little bit of edge here. Again, no clear-cut measurements because I'm just playing and getting it where I want. There's the 5 1/2 mark. And I'm just going to bump it up one little notch there on the paper trimmer. And that's going to lay right here. Okay, so I just get a little bit of border of that beautiful designer series paper. Just going to see if I can get that lighting a little bit better. Still playing with the lighting until I'm in my temporary spot right now. When I get my whole setup done, we will get that taken care of, so bear with me. All right, so I'm just going to layer that right on there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in, and I will tell you the measurements, and they are in the description below. I have another piece of rich raspberry, and that is 4 by 4. So if you look at it right here, it's 4 by 4, complete square, 4 by 4. Layering this up, that designer series paper. I fell in love with this paper, with this stamp set because of the bird. That's what drew me to it. Okay, so this piece right here is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So you can see again, I just have that little bit of edge. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. You're going to see some more pop-up YouTube videos throughout the month so that I get to use all those stamp sets. Because on my lives, my Facebook Live and my YouTube Live, everybody said they wanted new products. So I figured I would do a few videos of things you can still order while you're waiting for the new catalog. So I'm just going to layer that on there. That's going to go right on here. Now, you can put it all the way over if you'd like, or you can put it right to this edge and get a little bit of the gold here. That's the way I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 strips of my Stampin' Seal. And I am going to make it meet at this end. So this is a fun fold, quick and easy one. So there is my card front so far. Now I'm going to bring in a piece of my Very Vanilla and my stamp. And I'm using the Rich Razzleberry. Now I'm going to ink this up. This is a distinctive stamp, and I prefer to ink it up this way so I can make sure that we have everything inked. Now when you look at it, you can see the darker image up here. That is the top. I'm going to go right into the corner of this piece of cardstock. And you can see that it's not completely straight. It's got like a little curve, which I like, because this way if you make a mistake, nobody's the wiser. I'm going to go ahead and ink that up. Let it sit for a second. Soak it in. Press it in the middle. Look how gorgeous that is. Look how gorgeous that looks. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to trim it off. So this piece is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So this will probably be maybe 3 1/2. But you can see I still have a little bit more border on this side, which I don't want. So I'm just going to trim it a little bit more. So that is 3 1/4. Let's see. That's, nope. Let's move it up here. So you can see I'm just playing with it to get it where I want it. And again, it's got kind of a curved edge, so it doesn't have to be completely straight. And when I put it on my card, it's not going to be anyway. Okay, so I am going to trim that off. And I really wanted to trim that so that I could see that beautiful paper in the back. So here is my picture, or my image. Now here's those pieces that I was talking about. And I have all these left over. So this is an actual frame. Well, this one's not a frame, I'm sorry. This one is from the catalog, leftover pieces, and that's what I made the frame into for this card. Make sense? So it wasn't actually a frame. I just made it into a frame. So save those pieces. I do actually have one of the frames from that die pack, and that's what we're going to be using. And these are all the leftover ones I haven't used yet, but I'm sure I'll find something to do with those. So before I glue it down, I'm just going to figure out I can put it right over that. Let me just bring this one in so you can see. This one I did off-centered. I could do this one centered in the middle if I wanted to, but I really like the way it looks off-centered. And I can actually do it this way. I'm going to put a little piece in there and a little piece out there. Look at that. Right? Okay, so let's move this one out of the way again. That's the way I like it. And I am going to lift this up and flip it over. I'm going to add some glue on here and a little bit on there. And I should have my silicone mat down. Okay, so now I'm going to bring that back up. And I am just going to lay that down just like this. Everything's a little off-centered. The start of a beautiful card. Okay, so this one I used some ribbon, but I don't know that I'm going to use the ribbon this time. I actually have some of these strips left, and I might use those. Let's take a look. Maybe even a little tag. This is the one I wanted right here. Okay. So here's a cute little tag, and I can put that right on the bottom. I can also put it right across the top. Or I can put it right in the center. I'm going to go with the center this time. You can still see the reflection. And I am going to take time for yourself. Line that up. Make sure it's straight, because I won't get a second chance with this one. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to get some dimensionals. Now, I keep all my dimensionals on my table here in one of our cases. I am going to grab my Take Your Pick tool, which seems to be on my other table. So let me grab my scissors. Believe it or not, I have like 4 of these, and they're never where I want them, when I want them. Okay, I'm just going to put that right in here. And I'm going to put that right in the center there. Take time for yourself. I'm going to grab my inside and use the Breathe Deeply, or Breathe Deep. Grab that bird because the bird to me matches that paper. And let's see, let me grab an envelope. Put the bird on there and on here. Don't overlook this stamp set because it is amazing and you can do a lot with it. Okay, I am going to go ahead and glue that down. I am going to bring in some of those iridescent, I love these iridescent gems because they pick up whatever color you're working on. Now, these are not available until January. Unless you join with the starter kit, you can order those, get a pre-order on December 1st. Okay, so I'd love to have you on my team. Don't forget to just go to Stampersdelight.com and join the fun. I'm going to add a couple more here. Maybe one right there. And one over here. That's all it needs. And there you have a great card for somebody that needs to take time for themselves. And here is the other one. See, I put a little, I had that leftover ribbon, so I just used it. So I hope you like that. Now let me show you how I did the 2 different colors. And I want to use 2 colors that will really, well, let me use the ones that I showed here so that you can really get the idea. Let me stamp this off. And just clean it off so I can show you how you can get the 2-tone effect depending on what colors you use. Okay, so I'm just cleaning this off right now with a baby wipe because my Stampin' Scrub is on the other table. Okay, but I did want to show you how you can get that effect. So let's grab a piece of cardstock. Okay, and what I did was I started with the light. So I started with the light color. The light color is going to be the bottom one. Remember, this is a little more darker. So what I did was I inked up the blue, and you can do it this way also, so you can really see what you're doing. There's my blue. That's my balmy blue. And here's my misty moonlight. And you really want to make sure you get that right to the end. Okay. Okay. And what you do is you turn it over and you press. Leave it sit for a while, just a second or two, so it absorbs. And there you have that beautiful image with the reflection in a lighter color. So looking into the pool of water or snow or ice. So that's how I got the double effect there. So now I can make another card into that later on. I hope you enjoyed this video. And don't forget to check out my blog, Stampersdelight.com, for the Still shots, but also more important, please don't forget to take time for yourself during these holidays. Until the next time, keep on stamping, Stampers. Bye.